You feel it, don't you? The weight. The world is not merely indifferent, it is actively, silently opposed to you. It has built walls you did not see. It has whispered lies you mistook for truth. You were shaped to be soft, to be agreeable, to seek permission, to apologize for your own existence. You have been taught that this friction, this resistance, is a sign of your failure. You are wrong. This pressure is the only thing that will ever make you diamond. The world is against you. Good. Let it be your anvil. Let its hatred be your heat. For the first time, you will stop complaining about the weight and you will begin to use it to forge a spine of iron. This is not your curse. It is your only path to power. You did not choose this. You were born thirsty into a world of poisoned wells. And you drank. You drank deeply. You were told the water was life. It was not. It was a slow decay, a sedation of the spirit. From the first breath, they began their work. Your parents, your teachers, the faces on the screens. They did not act from malice. They acted from habit. They were passing along the same poison they were given, a legacy of weakness. They told you to be humble, and you learned to be small. They told you to be kind, and you learned to never offend. They told you to be equal, and you learned to despise what stands above the crowd. These are the lies that form the bedrock of your prison, the architecture of your cage. You call it morality. You call it society. Nietzsche called it the slave revolt in morals, a system designed by the weak to chain the strong, to make everyone equally harmless, equally mediocre. You were taught to seek approval, to look outside yourself for validation, for a gold star, for a like, for a pat on the head from a world that despises your potential. You have been begging for a certificate of existence from the very jailers who locked you in. Your value is not something to be granted. It is something to be seized, forged in the private fire of your own will. They sold you comfort, a warm, soft lie, a padded cell. They told you safety was the highest good, and you built your life around avoiding risk, avoiding pain, avoiding the very friction that creates a soul. You traded your potential for a promise of security, a promise that was always a lie. The world is not safe. It was never safe. To seek safety is to seek death while still breathing. The most insidious lie, the one that underpins all others, is the lie of equality. The notion that no one is better, that no one should rise too high. This is the herd's only weapon against the shepherd. It is the creed of the flat plain. It hates the mountain for its height. You have been taught to clip your own wings, to apologize for your strength, to feel guilt for your ambition. This is your inheritance, not of land or gold, but of chains, invisible chains, wrapped around your mind, your heart, your will. You carry the ghost of every small man who came before you, every fearful soul who chose the comfort of the crowd over the terror of the summit. And you feel the weight of these chains now. You feel the friction. The world feels against you because you are starting to outgrow the cage they built for you. The discomfort you feel is not a sign of your failure. It is the first sign of your awakening strength. The poison is beginning to reject you. The well is dry, and you are still thirsty. So you take a single step, a step away from the well, a step away from the chorus of nodding heads. You voice a doubt. You express a desire that does not align with the collective. You cease to applaud on command, and you see it. the change in their eyes. The warmth vanishes. The approval curdles into suspicion. The friendly faces become a committee of inquisitors. You have broken the first rule of the herd. Thou shalt not stand apart. This is not a misunderstanding. It is an immune response. You are a virus, a foreign body, a splinter in the soft flesh of their consensus, and the organism must expel you. They will first try to pull you back, with concern, with pity. You've changed, they will say, as if diagnosing a sickness. You're being so intense. They offer you the poison again, this time in the cup of love. Drink and all will be forgiven. Return to the numbness. Return to the fold. When you refuse, the tools change. The whispers begin. The subtle sabotage. The laughter that dies when you enter the room. You are now a threat, a living reproach to their compromise. Your very existence is a question they have spent their lives trying not to answer. Why did I settle? Why did I kneel? Their hatred is not personal. It is metaphysical. They do not hate you. They hate what you represent, the possibility they sacrificed for their comfort. Your awakening is a mirror, and they cannot bear to see their own sleeping reflection. Nietzsche called this the great separation. The path to greatness must be paved with the good opinions you once held dear. You must be willing to let them call you arrogant, cold, a monster. These are the titles bestowed upon the mountain by the plain. This loneliness is a crucible. It burns away the need for external validation. You are being forced to stand on your own, to become your own judge, your own nation of one. The herd's rejection is the highest compliment it can pay you. It is a certificate of authenticity, a proof that you are becoming dangerous to their fragile world. Do not beg for their return. Do not apologize for your strength. This exile is not your punishment. It is your promotion. They are not casting you out. They are setting you free. The silence that replaces their noise is the most profound sound you will ever hear. It is the sound of your own soul, finally able to speak. The unraveling is complete. You are alone. For the first time, you can see the threads that once bound you, and you hold the scissors. So here you stand, alone. The voices of the herd have faded to a distant echo. The scripts they gave you have turned to ash in your hands, and before you there is only a void, a great yawning silence. This is the abyss, and you must step into it. There are no maps here, no father's advice, no teacher's praise, no God to pray to. The constellations by which you once navigated have been extinguished. You are adrift in a cosmos of your own insignificance. This is the terror that the herd protects you from, this naked truth. You look for a foundation, for something solid to stand upon, and you find nothing. You are a temporary arrangement of atoms on a speck of dust spinning in an indifferent universe. Your achievements are fleeting. Your loves are temporary. Your very name will be forgotten. Everything you believed was meaningful collapses. The pursuit of wealth, the hunger for fame, the chase for pleasure, it is all a frantic, desperate dance to avoid looking into this chasm. It is all a drug to numb you to the truth. And the drug has worn off. This is nihilism, not as a philosophy, but as a lived reality, a cold wind that blows through the empty halls of your soul. It is the great disinfectant. It burns away the illusions. It is a necessary sickness, a spiritual pneumonia. You must cough up the last remnants of the poison. You will want to run back to the warmth of the lie, to the comfort of the herd, to believe in anything at all, to fill this silence. Do not. This emptiness is sacred. This nothingness is the raw material of your new self. For the first time, you are seeing the world without the filter of their meaning. It is brutal. It is honest. It is free. The abyss is not your enemy. It is a blank canvas. The herd paints on it with the colors of tradition, of dogma, of collective fear. But now the canvas is clean, and the brush is in your hand. You stare into the nothing, and the only thing that stares back is the pure, terrifying potential of your own will. The question is no longer, what does the world want from me? The question now, the only question that remains, is, what shall I create here, in this magnificent void? The fall is over. You have reached the bottom, and you find it is not an end. It is a foundation of solid rock, the first true thing you have ever stood on. The enemy has been identified. He is not out there. He is in here. He speaks with your voice. He hides behind your eyes. He is the ghost of the herd, living in the architecture of your mind. And he must die. This is not a battle of swords. It is a battle of seconds, a war fought in the silent, private moments of choice. It begins at dawn, when the warmth of the bed begs you to ignore the call of discipline. It whispers at noon, telling you that compromise is wisdom. It screams in the evening, demanding the cheap anesthesia of distraction to numb the struggle of the day. Your enemy is the part of you that seeks permission, that apologizes for taking up space, that chooses comfort over growth. Every time you swallow a truth to keep the peace, you feed him. Every time you delay a necessary action, you grant him territory. Every time you indulge in self-pity, you kneel at his altar. Nietzsche called this the spirit of gravity, the weight that says, all is in vain, be small, be safe. It is the dragon that hoards your potential, lying atop the gold of your unlived life. You will not slay him in a single glorious charge. You will kill him with 1,000 small executions. You will execute the desire to complain. You will execute the need for approval. You will execute the habit of resentment. You will take the scalpel of self-awareness and cut away, piece by piece, the flesh of your former weakness. This war is one of relentless rigor. It is the will to impose order upon the chaos of your own soul. When emotion surges, you do not let it rule you. You question it. You master it. You channel its fire into purpose, not passion. You transform the barking dog of reaction into the silent wolf of response. There is no room for negotiation. The dragon is a sophist. He will offer you logical reasons for your cowardice. He will dress your laziness in the robes of self-care. He will paint your surrender as a strategic retreat. Do not listen. His voice is the echo of your own decay. The battlefield is silent. There are no witnesses to your courage. No one will award you a medal for choosing the harder path. Your only reward is the quiet knowledge that, for today, you were the master of your inner world. You commanded. You obeyed yourself. You are both the sculptor and the marble, the general and the soldier. Every blow you strike against the weakling within chips away at the prison. The war is eternal. There is no final peace, only a series of victories that forge a soul of tempered steel. You do not fight to become perfect. You fight to become powerful. The dragon's head will grow back. You must be ready with the axe. Every sunrise. The internal war has cleared the ground. The dragon's corpse fertilizes the soil. Now, something new must grow. Not from the seeds of the herd, but from a seed you alone will plant. This is the awakening of the will to power. Do not misunderstand the term. This is not the will to dominate others. That is the flailing of the weak, the herd's projection of its own sickness onto the strong. The true will to power is the fundamental drive of all life, the drive to grow, to overcome, to expand, to become more than what you are. It is the force that pushes the tree root through stone, the instinct that drives the artist to create from pain. It is the energy you once wasted on seeking approval, now turned inward to fuel your own creation. With the old idols shattered, you stand before a blank altar, and you are the God who must consecrate it. You will no longer ask, "What is the meaning of life?" That is a slave's question. The sovereign individual asks, "What meaning shall I give to my life?" This is the ultimate responsibility. There is no template, no divine command, no moral law written in the stars. You must become the lawgiver. You must hammer your own values from the ore of your experience. What do you deem good? What do you declare holy? Is it resilience? Is it creativity? Is the unbreakable silence of a disciplined mind? Name it. Command it. Your will to power is the sculptor's hand. Your life is the raw marble. Every choice is a chisel stroke. Every act of discipline removes a fragment of the formless mass, revealing the figure hidden within. You are creating a masterpiece called the self. This is the birth of your own philosophy, not one you read in a book, but one you inscribe with your actions, your code, your commandments. Amor fati may be one, the love of your fate, the embrace of every obstacle as a necessary tool for your carving. Self-overcoming may be another, the relentless pursuit of a higher version of yourself, a perpetual becoming. This is not a search for happiness. Happiness is a fleeting byproduct. This is the pursuit of potency, of strength, of a life so full of its own purpose that the opinions of the world become as insignificant as the chirping of crickets. You are no longer a question waiting for an answer. You are the answer, a living, breathing, walking declaration. The will to power is not a destination. It is a direction. Upward. Always upward. You are not building a statue to be admired. You are a flame, and your only purpose is to burn brighter, to consume the fuel of your experience, and to cast your own light upon the shadows of the world. You have ceased to be a pilgrim. You have become a prophet of your own destiny. Now comes the ultimate test of your sovereignty. Not to conquer the world, but to embrace it. All of it. Every scar, every betrayal, every moment of humiliation and pain. To look upon the sum of your life and pronounce it good. To will it. To love it. This is amor fati, the love of one's fate. It is not passive acceptance. It is not the weak resignation of the slave who says, "It was God's will." It is the active, ecstatic affirmation of the Creator who says, "It was my will. It is my necessary material." Your past is not a chain. It is your greatest weapon. Every hardship that sought to break you was, in truth, a blacksmith. Every person who betrayed you was an unwitting sculptor, carving away your need for external anchors. The loneliness that hollowed you out created a vessel strong enough to hold a mighty will. To wish any of it away is to wish yourself away. The man you are now was forged in those specific fires. Change the recipe and you annihilate the result. The coward wishes for an easier past. The sovereign being treasures the difficulty that made him formidable. Nietzsche posed the ultimate question of eternal recurrence. What if a demon whispered that you would have to live this life, every joy and every agony, in the same sequence for all eternity? Would you gnash your teeth and curse the demon? Or would you answer, "You are a god, and never have I heard anything more divine"? Your answer is the measure of your power. The man who has not conquered himself views his fate as a sentence. The higher man sees it as his chosen script. He does not drag the past behind him like a corpse. He carries it within him like a diamond forged under pressure. This is the final alchemy, to transmute the lead of suffering into the gold of strength, to take the poison the world gave you and develop an immunity so profound that the poison becomes your sustenance. Your wounds cease to be sources of self-pity and become wellsprings of wisdom. Your enemies cease to be villains and become unwitting mentors in the art of war. To love your fate is to disarm the world. It can no longer threaten you with pain, for you have claimed pain as your ally. It can no longer hurt you with loss, for you see loss as the space required for new creation. This is the pinnacle of inner control. You have moved beyond judging events as good or bad. You see them only as necessary. You are the eye of your own hurricane, utterly still, completely in command. Your life is no longer something that happens to you. It is something that happens for you, for your development, for your ultimate strength. Say it to the darkness. Say it to the silence. I willed it thus. You have forged a will of iron. You have learned to love your fate. Now you must learn the final discipline, the power of silence, to build a fortress around your soul and to withdraw the drawbridge. The world is a marketplace of noise, a cacophony of opinions, demands, and trivialities. The herd communicates in constant, anxious chatter. It seeks to pull you back into its drama, to measure you by its standards, to drain your hard-won energy with its endless needs. You must no longer participate. This is not the silence of the timid, it is the silence of the mountain. The mountain does not announce its presence. It does not argue with the storms that beat against its face. It does not respond to the chatter of the creatures at its base. It simply is, immense, unmoving, complete. Your words have been a currency you spent too freely, explaining yourself, defending your position, seeking to be understood. Every explanation is a concession of power. It is an admission that you still require the validation of your audience. The sovereign being does not explain, he declares, or he says nothing. Conserve your energy. The will to power is a flame, and the winds of idle talk and petty conflict will extinguish it. Withdraw from unnecessary battles. Do not fight ghosts. Do not wrestle with pigs. You will get dirty, and the pig enjoys it. Let the herd have its opinions. They are as substantial as dust. This fortress is not made of stone, but of intention. It is the disciplined focus of your attention. You cease to consume the noise, the news, the gossip, the outrage of the day. You turn your gaze inward to the cultivation of your garden, your work, your body, your mind, your values. In this silence, your actions gain immense weight. When you cease to talk about what you will do, your eventual deeds land with the force of thunder. The man who is silent is assumed to be powerful, for he does not feel the need to prove it. Let them assume, let them wonder. Their speculation is a wall that protects you. This is the ultimate detachment. You observe the world from the high towers of your own spirit. You see the chaos, the fear, the striving, but you are no longer of it. You engage only when you choose, on your own terms, for your own purposes. The fortress of silence is where your power consolidates. It is the quiet chamber where the will, no longer scattered on the winds of conversation, concentrates into a laser. It is the final break from the herd. Not a physical break, but a spiritual one. You walk among them, but you are encased in an armor of quiet resolve. They cannot reach you. They cannot hurt you. They cannot understand you. The world bows to silence, for it cannot fight what it cannot grasp. The transformation is complete. You are no longer the one who is cast out, you are the one who returns. Not for acceptance, not for revenge. You return as a master walks his own lands. The world has not changed. The walls are still there, the herd still grazes, the noise still clamors. But you are new. And because you are new, the world is new. You see it now for what it is, not a prison, but a proving ground, not a judge, but a tool. You move through the same streets, you face the same faces, but a chasm of silence separates you from them. They cannot touch you. Their approval is irrelevant. Their scorn is a nullity. You have become the untouchable man, not by their leave, but by your own will. This is the final stage of the will to power, to wield the world without being stained by it, to engage without needing, to act without attaching. You are the eye of the hurricane. The world spins in its chaos around your absolute stillness. You no longer fight the world. You use it. Its resistance becomes the traction for your will. Its opposition becomes the whetstone for your spirit. The very forces that sought to break you are now the forces you harness. You have learned the alchemy of turning every poison into medicine, every obstacle into fuel. You are beyond good and evil, not as a monster, but as a creator of your own values. You decide what is right. You decide what is necessary. Your morality is not a list of rules, but a single, unwavering command. Become what you are. Fulfill your own highest potential. Everything that serves this end is virtuous. Everything that hinders it is cast aside. You are alone, and in this aloneness, you are finally complete. You are the lawgiver, the judge, and the citizen of your own soul. You are the beginning and the end of your own meaning. The sovereign self does not rule over others. He rules over the chaos within. His kingdom is the self. His command is silence. His army is discipline. And from this unassailable fortress, he looks upon existence and pronounces it his own. You sought power in the world. You found it only when you stopped looking. You found it in the abyss you feared. You found it in the war you waged against your own weakness. You found it in the silent, loving embrace of your own fate. The world is against you. It was the greatest lie you ever believed. The world is not against you. The world is for you. It is the anvil, the hammer, and the fire, waiting for you to become the smith. Walk alone. Rule in silence. Love your fate. The journey is over. The journey begins.